Did you know that there are 4 tools that I use as a professional copywriter that are super easy for you to use too? I'm going to share exactly what they are, plus a bonus one in today's video, so stay tuned. Alright, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Emma Gibbons. I'm a brand messaging strategist, copywriter, and writing coach for entrepreneurs like you who want to learn how to do the copy and content writing themselves. If those topics are interesting to you, then please do consider subscribing and hit the notification bell that's down below as well so you never miss a video to learn more about how to steal my best practices and tips as a copywriter and use them in your online business. Alright, so in this video, I'm not just going to tell you what these tools are that I'm mentioning. I'm actually going to bring you over to my computer screen and you're going to have a sense of how to use these tools yourself. So let's go. Hello and welcome to my computer. Alright, I think this is so funny that you get to see like ads that are targeted to me and what I spend my money on. If anybody else is obsessed with Sephora, let me know in the comments. Alright, so our first tool that we're going to be looking at is the Headline Analyzer from the Advanced Marketing Institute. This is something that is passed on as a piece of wisdom from other copywriters often, and this is so underutilized by everyday entrepreneurs, and it's so easy to use. So I'm going to actually pull up a headline from a recent YouTube video that this will work as well. If you haven't watched our recent YouTube video on headlines, you're definitely going to want to check it out because I go through 6 of the most common and powerful structures for writing headlines that are definitely going to get people to click through. So check it out. I'm sure we'll pop it up on the screen for you here. But basically, I use these structures and I think that they're awesome, right? But I also like to pass it through this second set of eyes, and it has knowledge that I wouldn't necessarily think to use. So it also gives me feedback in terms of how many people would feel this way about this piece of copy. So I'm going to write here 1 draft of the name of that video. So how to use the 5 levels of customer awareness in your copywriting. Okay, submit for analysis. Not a great score, right? So it's giving us 16.67%, and it actually tells us here that the English language contains a lot more emotional words. Most professional copywriters' final headlines will have 30 to 40% emotional words. So this actually gives us some really cool feedback in that it's telling me that what I do have here, probably I'm guessing because of the word awareness, is a spiritual feeling. There are spiritual words to some degree in this headline. So this will work really well if you are targeting a spiritually oriented market, like anyone in the clergy, new age, health and food related markets, anything with a strong spiritual component. So if that's what you were aiming for, that's great, but you also want to make sure that it's in this 30 to 40% range. But that's not really what I'm aiming for. So let me go back and I'm going to show you what it comes out with using this new version that I'm going to put in right here. So, write better copy using the 5 levels of customer awareness. And you'll see here that I'm making a promise. This is what you're going to learn. And there's also numbers or specifics in here, which we talk about in the headlines video. Submit for analysis. I feel like a scientist, which is probably telling you a lot about how I was meant to only work with words. Okay, so this is good. This gets a 30% rating in terms of the emotional marketing value, or the kind of emotion that it provokes. So this says that this is actually a triple impact headline because it speaks to people's intellectual, empathetic, and spiritual spheres. That is really, really cool. And so this sort of happens by mistake sometimes, but you'll start to, especially as you use this as a way of getting feedback on your writing, you'll be able to start to target what it is that you're writing towards the particular sphere that you want to speak to. So let's see what else it says. Intellectual impact words are best used to attune copy and sales messages aimed at people and businesses involved in the fields of education, law, medicine, research, politics, and similar fields. That's awesome. We talked about spiritual. And then copy containing empathetic impact words are best used to attune with people and businesses involved with caregiving. So women, especially mothers, are very strong in their use of empathetic impact words in the language. And if you're familiar with brand archetypes, if you've done any with me before, then you will also be able to focus on, I am a caregiver type. And I also help other caregivers. So I'm definitely going to lean into empathetic words. This is a little step beyond, but this just shows you how helpful this really, really simple tool can be in terms of creating a brand voice and choosing words and phrases that really are going to resonate with your people. So that is the headline analyzer. Next, we have Keywords Everywhere. And I actually mostly just use the free version of Keywords Everywhere, but what I really, really like about it is that it can tell you things like search volume, cost per click, competition, trend data, all that kind of stuff. But basically, I have the plugin, and right now I just have the free version set up, and I'm going to basically type in, actually, why don't we use that same headline and see what comes up. Let's put this into Google. All right, so Keywords Everywhere, the plugin is on, which is going to give us lots of information here at the side, SEO difficulty, etc. What are related keywords? And I like this even to give me topic ideas, right? Like if I've written, as you might imagine, a gazillion times about the difference between copy and content writing, which if you don't know, we're also going to give you access to that video here. I need more ideas, right? So let's actually use that one. Copywriting versus content writing. What are some other angles, you know? So, related keywords, examples, right? I could totally give examples. What is the difference in salary between the typical copywriter and content writer? Interesting. Digital copywriting, copywriting versus SEO. And I find even more now, just because of the way that SEO is working at the moment in time that I'm recording this, long tail keywords are going to give you really specific ideas, but also if you want to take this idea, like let's say SEO content writing versus SEO copywriting, take that idea and make sure that that is the key phrase that you use in that blog post, for example, if that's what you're going to use it for, this idea. You're going to use it for a blog post. Okay, make sure you're using this key phrase and you're using all of those best practices when it comes to SEO and blog posts. I have another video recommendation if you haven't seen it yet. There is a 10-step DIY SEO audit for your blogs, and this video comes with a PDF that you can download as well to make sure you're doing it right. But this is going to give you awesome key phrases and topics that are going to perform really, really well, and that's as far as, I'm just being honest, this is as far as most early stage, especially entrepreneurs, are willing to go. Entrepreneurs who are doing SEO themselves are going to run into like the time I'm spending trying to understand SEO, researching the best key phrases, etc. Is that really equivalent to the value that this blog post is going to give me? And I'm saying that in terms of the way that they spend their time, because it's not their zone of genius. This is enough to start most entrepreneurs off. A lot of online business owners don't even do this. And when you're at a phase when you're ready to really take SEO seriously, there's more to learn, right? I can teach you that in writing coaching, for example. But even beyond that, there are SEO experts whose whole jobs are that. So this is going to give you not only topics, but that a little bit of SEO background, some SEO kind of research to begin with, that's going to still put you a step ahead when it comes to doing SEO properly too. So that is Keywords Everywhere. Next, we have Hemingway. So Hemingway is a totally free app, which is why I'm mentioning it here. And it's going to help you improve your writing. And it can only do so much, let's be honest about that. It's not a human. It doesn't have emotions and subjective cultural experiences, all that kind of stuff. But it will help you with some of the craft of writing. And this is especially true if you're kind of new to writing. You didn't do a ton of writing on your own. Maybe you haven't been writing since you were like 7, like me, writing novellas in my bedroom. And that's totally okay, right? You're in business to do the thing you love, but you gotta write from time to time. And so this is a great way of just checking where you're at with your writing. So I love that they, on the front page, they'll just give you this example. That's their instructions for how to use Hemingway. But it will also show you some of the ways that it can identify issues or areas for improvement in your text. So, right, so this is telling us it's hard to read. So you could kind of simplify this. Red is very hard to read. So, and part of that is it's just such a long sentence, right? We have utilize. Phrase as a simpler alternative. Maybe you could just use the word, use is what comes to mind. Omit, right? You don't necessarily need helpfully in here, right? Adverbs and weakening phrases are shown in blue. They could be helpfully shown in blue, and maybe you want to add that, and you can make an intentional choice about the feeling you're trying to give. Or for conciseness, which of course is the real Hemingway's love, it was conciseness, which we could go to in a whole other video. This is one good example of where to be concise. And then they also have something in green here, which is a use of the passive voice. And we want to make sure that we don't use the passive voice too often. We want to make sure we're using active, punchy verbs, basically. So this will give you really, really good suggestions. Basically, the way I'd use this is I'd copy and paste your text in here. I would not draft in here. I just don't think it's a very safe thing to do. Keep it in a Google Doc that's auto-saving for you at all times, that sort of thing. But you can definitely pass it through here. Now, something else that you might notice is that there's this red line over here, and that is not Hemingway. That is the app I use more because I decided to go for a paid subscription since I write all the time, but there's a lot you can do on the free one, and that is Grammarly. And so here I pulled up Grammarly for Chrome because that's the browser I'm using right now. But you should be able to use it in a variety of browsers. And essentially, it will underline in one way or another according to, and we're going to open it up here. So this is Grammarly, the plugin. And you can actually choose, and I go back and forth all the time between these three. I have clients that are, actually these three, Australia, I have only done once before. Usually it's set to American English. I'm not American, I'm from Canada. But a lot of my clients are based in the US, and I just want to make sure that my spelling is totally on point because Canadian spelling can veer into British from time to time. I also want to make sure that it's on British when I am targeting that audience because there are quite a few changes from Canadian to British English, using S's instead of Z's, for example. And sometimes my brain isn't catching that, even when I reread. So having Grammarly there can really, really catch those sorts of things. Plus, it does all the things that you see Hemingway do. I like it because, I don't know. I mean, I like it because it's a plugin, I guess, right? Like, it's not necessarily the quality of the feedback even. It does give really in-depth feedback on the premium version. But I like that because it's a plugin. It will notice it on web pages. It will notice it in my Google Docs. And you can also use it as a plugin in Microsoft Word as well. So it can even notice, like, not just Google Docs, but Google presentations. It will notice the words that are inside the presentation and be able to give you suggestions similar to this, like swap this for a simpler word, rephrase it, etc. All right, so that is Hemingway and Grammarly. So Grammarly is that bonus one I kind of hinted at the beginning of this video. Okay, this is a cool page, right? This little robot guy, but this is Answer the Public, and this is something I've definitely mentioned before on my channel. And I like to start, honestly, like, if you've never used this before, type in your topic. So I'm going to type in copywriting, which I have definitely used this for before. I've done, like, a really thorough Answer the Public on copywriting. Okay, so it's loading. All right, so it's free. There's a pro version, but just what you're seeing right now is totally free. I've never used the pro version in my personal experience yet. And it's going to show you what people are looking for. So basically, you can create answers to the public. So you can make sure you're answering questions that your ideal clients are typing into Google or into YouTube, because it's also it's also a search engine. So it gives you a map, basically, of the questions. So we have, for example, how questions, how copywriting works, how copywriting helps businesses, how copywriting makes money, or how you might want to change some of these because they might all be grammatically correct, but it gives you a sense. Let's go on the other side. We have can questions. Can I do copywriting? Can copywriting be learned? Can copywriting make you rich? So this is my favorite part. But now you also have some, actually I really like this one too. I like when they talk about without, because this is a really, really powerful structure in copywriting. So for example, copywriting without experience. Copywriting jobs without an investment. How to become a copywriter without experience. I've actually done a YouTube video that was pretty much this title, which we can also put up on the screen for you if you want to check that out. So, and the fact is that one of the other reasons that I decided to go with this title or something very similar to it is that also if you check on YouTube, if you just go manually look at what is popular, this is also a really popular topic. So this is such a fast way. Answer the Public is such a fast way, especially if you're not doing in-depth research on content marketing topics, etc., like I do because it's my business. Answer the Public is just absolutely awesome. You've also got examples like versus, copywriting versus copy editing. I do this sort of thing all the time. And then you can also go through alphabetically to make sure you've got everything. Copywriting for Amazon, copywriting for social media, and then under I, copywriting internship. You can just see why Answer the Public is so awesome. Okay, so that is actually our fourth official tool, and we're going to go back over to the side with me on the real camera. We're gonna wrap this up. I've got some thoughts for you. So what did you think? Let me know in the comments below what your favorite tool was, and I'd love to know if you have additional tools that you use as you write copy and content yourself. I'm sure we'll do more videos in the future on this topic because there are so many tools out there, and I'm always experimenting and playing with new ones. So for now, let's leave it at this 4, but do let us know if there's anything that I need to check out or that you think the rest of the audience would find so useful too as fellow online business owners. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing because you're going to be in store for a lot more copywriting and content writing tips in the future. So we would love to have you around. We're here every Thursday, and if this is it for you today, then okay, go ahead, go do some writing. But if you have a little time to spend with us, we're going to pop up on the screen some suggestions of other videos that are going to transform your copywriting and writing practice as an online business owner. So I do hope to see you over there. All right, I will see you next week. Bye.